Hello and welcome to Dungeon Mod Week. That's right, every Mod of the Day video this week is going to be for a dungeon mod, and you know how much I like dungeon mods. Since we've been on hiatus for a while, there's been a ton of just really amazing looking dungeon mods that have been released that we need to catch up on. Because these are fantastic looking dungeons and arguably some of the best dungeon delving experiences I've ever seen in Morrowind. And we're going to kick this week off with what is, I think, the best dungeon mod to be released in 2021. Though it is kind of tied for that spot with Library of Vivec Overhaul, but guess what? It's by the same author. Yes, that's right, today's mod of the day is none other than New Ilunibi by Seelof. And gosh, I am absolutely in love with Seelof's dungeon designs. They are utterly fantastic. It's like the only dungeon mod that can top a Seelof mod is another mod by Seelof. And I do think there is a case to make here that New Ilunibi is actually an even better dungeon mod than Library of Vivec. And, well, I guess to a degree, you kind of have to figure that out for yourself. I mean, they're both just such excellent dungeons with so much verticality. I mean, are you seeing all the verticality in this set of chambers here? And this is the first cavern that you go through just to get to the rest of the dungeon. This is like literally just a little bit past the door. And this is your introduction to what is going to be one of the best dungeon delving experiences you've ever had in Morrowind. No question. I mean, just look at all the waterfalls. How can you have a bad dungeon with this many waterfalls? It's not possible. Have you ever even seen this many waterfalls before? Just, oh yes, utterly beautiful. But before I get carried away here, I should explain what New Ilunibi is, and essentially it is a dungeon overhaul. Ilunibi was a 6-house dungeon that was part of the Morrowind main quest that you had to go through. And it was, one of the bigger, 6-house dungeons, though it wasn't exactly, well, you know how vanilla dungeons are in vanilla Morrowind, they're not exactly very good. And so what New Ilunibi does is it overhauls the entire dungeon, expanding it quite a bit, really, in terms of just, a space that you can explore and fight through, and just really utterly transforms Ilunibi into a dungeon that not only are you required to go through for the main quest, but also one that you want to go through. With a handful of new quests, I think there's about 4 new quests that you can do, and these are just side quests that are just scattered about for you to find organically through the dungeon. And there's just so much content here, and not only that, but some of the locations that you'll find in this dungeon are just, I don't know if there's even words to describe just how magnificent they are. Like, take a look at this chamber. Look at just the epic proportions of this chamber with this central skeleton framework. And then you just have waterfalls in the background, and look at the space and size of these caverns. These things are huge. There's just so much for you to find, with treasures and relics just hidden about in different nooks and crannies. You could get lost in these caverns for hours, and there are just hours and hours of content for you to find here. Like, fully exploring these caverns will take you a fairly long time, and if you're like me, you're going to love every minute of it. I mean, the atmosphere, the detail, there is so much here to just immerse yourself in these beautiful environments. And I know it feels like I'm probably just repeating myself, but I am just literally in awe of just everything that Seelof has created. Gosh, this is without question just one of the top 10 best mods of the year. If you're not going to check it out and install it and play it, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, we don't even need to have any comparison footage of the vanilla game for this, because it is so obviously better to anything in vanilla. It would be insane to really tarnish this video with any comparison footage of the vanilla dungeon. It's not even worth mentioning. And I cannot recommend this mod enough. I mean, just install it, play through it, enjoy it. It is absolute perfection. And honestly, I really want Seelof to just go through and do this kind of overhaul for every dungeon in the vanilla game. Though, that would probably take a really long time. I mean, Seelof's been working on this since what? Just after the Library of Vivec release on June 1st. So, I mean, realistically, these things do have a really long production time, but I want to see more. Just more dungeons in this exact same vein. It is just dungeon perfection. So give me more, Dungeon Daddy. I want a lot more just in this exact same vein. Give it to me. But anyway, you know, that's our mod of the day, and again, I cannot recommend this mod enough. It just, you know, check it out, play through it. It is so worth your time. But anyway, as always, I've been your host, Dark Elf Guy, so thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.